Hey, what's up guys? It's Awesome Margin here, back with another Clash Royale video. So guys, in today's video, we're going to be doing a tier list. So basically, what this tier list means is like S tier is like really broken, super overpowered, like they have to nerf it or rework it. A means it's like really good, like maybe a slight nerf or rework. B is just solid. C is average, like it's okay, but doesn't need a buff or a rework. D is slight buff or rework, and F, I mean, that's why it's called F. It's really bad, needs a buff, needs a rework, something like that. So before we start ranking these cards, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We are super close to hitting 50 subscribers, so it would mean a lot to me if you could subscribe, and yeah, let's start ranking these cards. So the first card we're going to rank is the Dark Prince. I'd say it goes into the B tier. It's a really solid mini tank. Knight is obviously a lot better, but has splash damage, a shield. It's pretty good against swarms. So yeah, that's why I ranked Dark Prince in tier B. Next card we have is E-Barbs. It's F tier. Come on, it's only used in mid-ladder. I mean, they were only good for like one season after they got that big rework. I mean, they're better. I guess I can move it up to D tier because it's better than they were. But I mean, like all they do is just do more damage, and that's it. So anything can counter it. You can counter it with the Prince. You can counter it with Mega Knight. You can counter it with Knight plus Skeletons can counter it pretty well. Yeah, they're not as good. They're not even good. I think the rework was a good idea just to make them a bit more viable, but they're all still only used in mid ladder. So Archers is the next card. I'd put the Archers in B tier. Solid defensive option. Really good against air, like Balloon, Skeleton Barrel, stuff like that. But they die to arrows, stuff like that. And they don't have that much health, so they're just a solid card all around. Next, we have Baby Dragon. I put it in B tier as well. There are going to be a lot of cards in B tier because most of them are perfectly balanced. Baby Dragon, it was OP a few metas ago, but I mean, it's not as OP as it was a few metas ago, but I mean, it does it all. It's a flying splash damage. It's kind of a mini tank. But ever since it got that slight health nerf, I think in season 11, it hasn't been as good. So Bandit, I'm going to put it in C tier. It's a bit below B tier because, I mean, you only see it in Bridge Spam decks. You never see it anywhere else. There's this new Log Bait deck that's running it, but that's pretty much all the decks. It's only used in P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam, any type of Bridge Spam deck, and that one Log Bait deck. Barbarian Hut, I'm going to go in F tier. It just died ever since it got that humongous nerf. Like, it used to be really strong. If it was like the season 17-18 meta, I would keep it in S tier, but now it's just really trash. 7 Elixir doesn't give you that much value anymore. It's only used now in troll decks, like spawner decks, stuff like that. It used to be really solid with Graveyard, solid defensive option, but now it's just really bad. So the next card we have is Barbarians. I'm going to put it in C tier. I mean, they're average, not that great. You only see them in, like, Lava Hound. That's pretty much all you see them in. Just Lava Hound. And, yeah, they're just an average card all around. So, next card we have is Barbarian Barrel. I'm going to keep it in A tier. It's a really strong card. It's like just like the Log, except it spawns a Barbarian to help you clean up. Say if you have, like, a Knight plus Goblin Gang push coming at you, the Barbarian Barrel can kill all the Goblins and distract the Knight long enough for your tower to kill it, or it's a good tank for balloons, hog riders, anything like that. Bats, I'm going to put them in A tier. They're really strong right now ever since they got that buff they got a few seasons ago. But, I mean, they're not in a need of an immediate nerf. But, I mean, a slight nerf maybe here and there would be nice. Battle Healer, it's going to go in D tier. You only see it with Elixir Golem or, like, really trolly decks. Only toxic decks. It's really good. If this was an Elixir Golem deck, I'd keep it in S tier, but it's not as great because you only see it in Elixir Golem. So the next card we have is Battle Ram. I'm going to put it in C tier. You only see it in P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam, any type of Bridge Spam deck. Yeah, I guess Ram Rider, Hog Rider, a bit better than it, but yeah, that's the only decks you see it in. Dark Goblin, also C tier, just an average card, pretty good defensively, offensively. You only see it in bait. Yeah. Bomber is C tier. It's low key. Oh, it's pretty underrated. Bomber it does a lot of splash damage, a lot of HP. It's pretty strong. It's really good against Royal Hogs. Um, a lot of Royal Recruits, a lot of the meta cards. So it's pretty strong right now, even though nobody realizes it. Bomb Tower, definitely S tier. It's like the strongest building right now. It can do it all. Take care of Royal Hogs, take care of Balloons, take care of Hog Riders, take care of Ram Riders, take care of anything. Can take care of a big Golem Lightning push. And yeah, I can do anything basically if you pair it up with the right cards. Bowler, C tier. It's just average card. Can knock back. Ever since I got that buff, it's been pretty solid. You see it in Balloon Freeze, Balloon Graveyard Freeze, some other off meta, semi meta decks. Elixir Pump or Elixir Collector is F tier. It's not very good anymore. It used to be good, but it dies to everything. It can't even be in your starting hand anymore. So yeah. So Inferno Tower. If this was based on my bias, I would keep Inferno Tower in B or C tier, but it's not very good. Log Bait's not very good. Inferno Tower, almost anything can counter it. Bats can distract it. Minions can distract it. Zap is just really strong against it. Lightning can destroy the Inferno Tower. So yeah. Mortar, I keep it in B tier. It's just a really solid building. It's really does a lot of damage. Good win condition. Good defensive option. Yeah, that's why I keep Mortar in B tier. Tesla, also B tier. It's a really solid building. The only flaw it has is its health. Otherwise, it does a lot of damage. If you protect it, it can have a lot of DPS damage. Same thing. All I need is its health. Expo, I guess it's C tier. I mean, it's good and all. It's certainly viable still, but ever since Earthquake got that rework, or Expo's just been getting destroyed by Earthquake decks because Earthquake just does so much damage to buildings. It's like absolutely insane. Cannon Cart, definitely S tier. It's so strong right now. It does a lot of damage, a lot of health. It's really fast, so it's really hard to stop. All that. Cannon, definitely F tier. It's not even good. You only see it in 2.6. Balloon, S tier. Really strong win condition. It's like really hard to stop. Even if you stop it from getting a hit. That damage does like what, 300, 400 damage. So yeah, that's why I kept it in S tier. Golem, solid win condition, C tier. There's really nothing to say. Golem's your best tank, one of the best tank win conditions in the game. A lot of health, works well with lightning, Night Witch, all that. Fireball, just a solid spell all around, B tier. Witch, F tier. It's not even good. You only see it in mid ladder. That's literally what Witch is used in. Clone, also F tier. You barely see it. You only see it with those cheesy Giant Skeleton clone decks, Golem clone decks. I mean, it's not even that good as a spell on its own, but it's really good with like those annoying cards. Night Witch, C tier, just a really solid card. It's pretty good against air, ground, works well in Golem decks, but you only see it in Golem or maybe Lava Hound. Earthquake, definitely A tier. It would be S tier, but it got an emergency nerf. That's why I kept it in A tier. It's still really strong, but it wasn't as strong as it used to be a month or so ago. Electro Dragon, really solid card. Pretty solid card. I'm going to keep it in B tier. Even though you only see it in Elixir Golem and some Golem decks, it's really strong. It has a nice chain lightning attack. Even if you keep something to protect like your Inferno Towers or buildings, as long as it's not a storm, the Electro Dragon can hit it. Electro Giant, B tier. Pretty good card. It used to be pretty trash, but now it's really solid. It does a lot of damage, a lot of HP, just like the Golem, but its main thing is like the counterattack thing. So if you're basically doomed if they play it. If you play a Swarm and an Electro Giant, you're basically done. And it's really good with lightning. Even though an Inferno Tower can counter it, if you pair it up with lightning or zap, the Inferno Tower is basically used. Electro Spirit, A tier. Really strong. It's so much better after the Heal Spirit got nerfed. It can it can change to 9 units, which make it really good against distraction troops. Really, maybe I would reduce its chain maybe to 8 or 7 tiles instead of 9. So yeah, Electro Wizard, B tier, just a really solid card. Really strong against air, ground, does a lot of damage. E-Golem, D tier. You really only see it in you really only see it with Battle Healer. You don't see it anywhere else. Executioner, D tier. You barely see it except with Viper's deck, that Hog Executioner deck. That's the only way you see it. Firecracker, it used to be really strong, but now it's just below average D tier. It used to be strong, but now you barely see it. Goblin Hut, F tier. It used to be really strong, but now, ever since it got that health nerf, it's not even that great anymore. Furnace just needs a buff. We're gonna leave it at that. Fire Spirits, they're okay. They do a lot of damage. They can take care of swarms pretty well, but they still need a bit of a buff. Fisherman, definitely S tier. Fisherman can do it all. Can pull tanks, can pull anything. It can distract them with a lot of health, and it pairs really, really, really well with the Hunter. Flying Machine, C tier, just a solid card. Freeze, solid as well. C tier. Royal Ghost, C tier, just really solid. All the solid cards would go in C tier. Giant Skeleton, I'd put it in C tier as well. Spear Goblins, A tier. They're really good of a support card. Goblin Barrel, just C tier. Just a normal win condition. Even though Log Bait isn't very good right now, it's just a solid win condition. Goblin Cage, definitely A tier. Really strong building. The second strongest building in the game, in my opinion, besides the Bomb Tower. Goblin Gang, D tier. You can stop it with basically anything. You can stop it with skeletons, anything really. Goblin Giant is B tier, just a really solid win condition. Ever since it got that buff, it's been pretty viable with the Double Prince bait deck, Sparky, all those cards. Goblins, F tier. They're really not good. You really don't see them anywhere. Graveyard, B tier. Still a really solid win condition, even though all the many nerfs it's seen. Heal Spirit, it used to be really strong, but now it can't even kill skeletons and bats. Hog Rider, just a really solid win condition. It's been alive forever. It never ever goes away. Hunter, definitely S tier. Definitely S tier. I mean, what else is there to say? It can counter Swarm, it can counter anything. It can counter tanks, it can counter mini tanks, it can counter really anything in the game. It's really good against air, ground. And paired up with the Fisherman, they're just unstoppable. Oops. So the next one we have is Ice Golem. It used to be really strong, but now Knight's just outshining it like really well. Knight's just outshining it super well. So that's why I kept Ice Golem in the D tier. Ice Wizard is definitely C tier. Just an average defensive card. Inferno Dragon, B tier. Ever since Inferno Tower hasn't been doing great, Inferno Dragon's been doing really well. You see it pretty in a lot of decks like Lava Hound, Golem, sometimes maybe. You see it in that Balloon deck with Pompeo Loon. Alright, so the next card we have is Knight. It's definitely S tier. It can do it all. Has a lot of health, does a lot of damage, can tank so much. It's a good tank for balloons, Hog Riders, Goblin Barrels. Can tank for anything. It just makes Valkyrie look really inferior. Lava Hound, B tier. I mean, A tier. It's a really, really good win condition. Probably the best tank win condition in the game right now. It's really strong, especially if you pair it up with the balloon. Yeah. Next card is Lightning. I guess I could put it in C tier, just an average spell. Magic Archer, C tier, average. Mega Knight, C tier, average. Mega Minion, probably B tier. It's a bit above average. Miner, it's S tier. We all love Miner. It's even after every nerf it's seen, it's still so strong. I don't think it needs a nerf, even though I kept it in S tier. It's just really strong of a win. It's just a really strong of a mini win condition. Minion Horde, you really only see it in mid ladder. F. Minions, they're a bit better. D tier. Mini P.E.K.K.A, C tier, just a really strong card. Mirror, F tier. You only see it in mid-ladder. Mother Witch, it's F tier. It just sucks. It can't do a thing. 0% usage rate. That's actually kind of sad. Musketeer, definitely B tier. It's not as good as it used to be a few months ago, but ever since it got that nerf, but it's B tier now. Hunter just outshines it. P.E.K.K.A, C tier, just average. Poison, average spell. Fireball's a lot better in my opinion, right? In this meta. Prince, C tier. Princess, C tier. Lumberjack, I keep it in C tier. Rage, F tier. You don't really see it anywhere, except in Sparky decks. Ram Rider, C tier, just a solid win condition. Rascals, also C tier. Rocket, C tier. Royal Giant, though, it's really strong. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Piggies, definitely B tier. Royal Recruits, B tier, definitely. Skeleton Barrel, C tier, just a solid win condition. Most of the C tier cards, they're not even good or bad, they're just average. Skeleton Dragons, C tier. Skarmy, C tier. Skeletons, B tier. Skeletons are A tier for sure. They're really strong. They can do it all. They can distract. Guards, they're still not very good. D tier. I mean, they were better than they were a few months ago after they got that kind of a buff. So yeah, that's why I kept them in D instead of F. Snowball, C tier. Ice Spirit, C tier. Log, definitely A tier. Just a really, really strong spell to use everywhere. 3M, they're dead. 3M is dead. Tombstone is D tier. Tornado B tier. Still use a lot, but super viable. Valkyrie D tier. It's not even that good anymore. Knight just outshines it in everything. Even though it does splash damage, I mean, Knight can do it all for just 1 elixir less, has more health for 1 elixir less. Even though it does more damage and it has splash damage, yeah, that's why I kept it in D tier. Wall breakers are definitely S tier. Really strong win condition right now. Just so much damage for just 2 elixirs. Even if when you split them at the bridge first play, your opponent has to spend more elixir to counter them unless if they can get a nice prediction. So yeah, that's why I like wall breakers in S tier. Wizard D tier. I mean, it's better than most of the F tier cards, even though you still only see it in mid ladder. Sparky, solid, C tier. Zappies, I'd keep them in B tier. Zap, C tier. World Delivery, C tier. Giant, D tier. Not a lot of decks use Giant anymore. And Arrows is C tier. So guys, this is my list. If you agree with this list or disagree, tell me in the comments below what you would change, what you agree with, what do you disagree with. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit the little bell so you never miss a new video. And yeah,